In this particular episode, I'd like us to look for a moment at models. We all know that a process is a set of structured activities, and a model, a process model, is a set of predefined steps. So what does that actually mean? Well, we use models to ensure that our processes are as efficient as they possibly can be, whilst still being effective. I want us to just consider for a moment change management. Now, change management as a process is quite often perceived by many within IT and outside of IT as well, within the organisation, as being bureaucratic. The problem is that change management is all about controlling changes to our IT environment, and if we have to control changes to our IT environment, then quite often that means that we've got to implement processes that, well, are perceived by some as being too bureaucratic. Let's face it, change management is one of the most bypassed processes in the whole of IT, and it's because there is that perception of bureaucracy. So what we need to do is we need to make the process as efficient as we possibly can be, while still maintaining control, in other words, whilst it's still effective. Now, the principle of models doesn't just apply to change management. I'm using change management as an example, but the principles of models applies to any other process. For instance, incident management and problem management, request fulfillment, definitely, access management, etc. Okay? But we're using change management as an example here. So on the screen in front of you now, you have an example of a change management process. Actually, this example of the change management process has been around for quite some time. It's the example that we used to use in the version 2 of ITIL in those books. But nevertheless, here's an example of a change management process. And you'll see these steps that we log the change, we filter it, we prioritize it. It's assessed by our change advisory board. It's authorized by the change manager or change authority. You know, the more severe, the more impact a change will have, then the higher the authority that will approve it. And then it's scheduled, it's built, it's tested, most definitely, before it goes into the live environment, and then implemented, and we review to check that it's worked, and then we close the change record. Okay. Seems fairly straightforward, seems fairly long, right? So let me consider then, let me ask you the question. Do you want to, or do you need to go through this particular process every time you raise a change? The answer to that is yes, you do. Do you want to go through this process every time you raise a change? And the answer to that is definitely a huge, big, emphatic no, definitely not. Of course not. So let me give you an example, and this is how we create a change model. So let's say it's something fairly simple, like we decided to bring in a new model of laptop, and so somebody, let's call him Fred, our user Fred has requested that we bring in a new model of laptop, a new HP laptop, an HP 1234, and it's never been seen before. So the first time that new laptop is requested, that Fred requests the laptop, then the change record is logged, and we follow all of those steps in that change process. So it's filtered, it's prioritized, it's assessed, because we've never seen it before, by the change advisory board, and then it's authorized, and then it's scheduled, it's built, etc. But now June has decided, so Fred's had this laptop now for quite some time, and now June, his colleague, has decided that she wants that model of laptop. Now, it took Fred about 3 weeks to get his laptop, because it took about 3 weeks to go through that entire process. But now June wants exactly the same model of laptop. Does she have to wait 3 weeks as well? Well, probably not. Because what we're going to do is we're now going to create a model. We've seen this type of change before. We've gone through all of the steps before. So now we are going to use our core login system to predefine some of these steps for us, to manage these steps for us rather. So the change manager predefines the steps, but then we use the core login system to facilitate and to manage the progress through the steps. So June now calls the service desk and requests this model of laptop, and the service desk will log this. But then filter, prioritize, assess, well, that's predefined. The change manager's predefined this, so our core login system is going to go through those steps for us automatically. Authorization might not be by the change manager, it might be by June's line manager or the cost center manager, or that may also have been pre-authorized too. That's debatable, we don't know, it depends on your own personal policies. But then we predefine the schedule and the build and the test. It's already been done. So the next step is to implement. So all of the others have been predefined, and we're using our core login system to manage that for us. But then we implement. We give June her laptop. We check that it's worked. It's part of the review. Is it working okay? And then we close the change. We're still going through every single one of those steps. We're still going through the process. But what we've done is we've predefined some of those steps, and we have used our core login system to manage that, to facilitate that for us. That's a model, a predefined set of steps, and we use that exact same principle, as I've already said, for incident management, for change, for problem, for request fulfillment, for access management, and for other processes as well. And you can have as many different models for each process as you wish. A model is designed to ensure the effectiveness of a process, but also to ensure the efficiency of a process, to make a process as efficient as it possibly can be. And that's why we would use process models. Now, if you have any questions about models or anything else to do with ITIL, then please feel free to drop me an email as per usual on my email address, which is at the bottom of the screen.